Okay, we are live. Ron Harris here on the Ron Harris Muscle channel. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe, like, and share these videos. Almost at 5,000 subs. Really helps me out. If you could just subscribe, doesn't cost you anything. So the topic today is, camera's getting all wonky on me. The topic today was based on some photos that are going viral. Boy, I'm losing my focus there, of a gentleman who, I'm trying to get this straight, guys. What the heck? Okay, maybe it'll correct itself. A gentleman who competed in the Arnold Amateur. Sorry, man. Let me make sure this is getting the right camera. Let's check Brio. Yeah, there we go. Camera resolution. And little controversy because he's clearly an overweight guy. Did not prepare for the show. There we go. And he's very much out of place. This has happened very, very frequently. It happens at shows all the way from local to sometimes national level. This is a pro qualifier of the Arnold Amateur. This is not some local show. This is a show where if you win the overall as a bodybuilder, for instance, you are automatically invited to compete in the Pro Arnold Classic the next year. That's the caliber we're talking about. It's an international show. You have competitors from sometimes as many as 50, 60 nations or more competing. Some of these people have won their national championships and have not turned professional. So it's a high caliber show. I'm going to go right now to this gentleman just so you can see what he looks like. And I'm not picking on him, guys. I don't know his name. I don't know his story. But let's take a look at what he looked like and why this has gone viral. So here he comes. These are classic physique shorts. A lot of body fat, very little muscle. I don't know if he goes to, if he might go to the gym. He might, do a little bit at the gym. Does not look like a classic physique competitor. Doesn't look like a bodybuilder. He also competed in men's physique. You can see in the thumbnail. I believe he competed in all divisions because I saw him in one photo of a gentleman in the posing trunks look like bodybuilding trunks. So I think he did bodybuilding classic and men's physique. Now on another site that posted this in the comments, I saw someone comment that he's terminal cancer patient and this was on his bucket list. I don't know if that's actually true. If it is, I'm deeply sorry for you, sir. That's awful. And, cancer's awful. Lost my dad, lost a lot of people in my family to cancer. So again, this is not a personal attack on this man. I don't know his name. I don't know his story. And I'm going to be that guy who calls it out and says, it doesn't really matter what your story is. This is a sporting competition. Whether you consider bodybuilding a sport or not, it is a competition. It's an athletic competition. There's no screening process, generally speaking, at the local level. I did find out, I wanted to see, can anybody enter the Arnold, or do you have to have some kind of qualification? Do you have to win something or place? So I went on the Arnold website, arnoldamateur.com. It's different for different countries. So if you're competing in the open divisions, you have to have placed top 2 in an open class at NPC national qualifier since January 2023. However, that you might have been in a class where there was only 1 or 2 people. You might have just placed top 2 because there were no more than 2 people in your class. That happens a lot. It's not that uncommon, guys. I'm leaving this to roll while I'm talking. Masters divisions, this is for U.S. citizens to compete in the Arnold Amateur. Must have competed in NPC national qualifier since January 23. No placing is required. Pro cards are not awarded in Masters divisions. If you want to be in an open division, you must meet the open division rules above. So I don't think he was in the Masters because I saw pictures of him next to, he might have done Masters too, but I saw him next to pictures of guys who didn't look old enough to be Masters. I could be wrong. You have to show proof of citizenship. If you're from Canada, Canadian athletes for the Arnold Amateur must have competed in an open pro qualifier CPA event in Canada since January 2023 and have an active CPA card. So they just need to have competed in a show, a national qualifier. There's no placing. If you're coming from another country, and if anyone knows this guy's story, where he's from, I don't know his name. I don't know a thing about him because I'm not attacking him personally. This isn't about him per se. This is about people competing in competitions where others have been prepping for months, dieting, grueling diets, cardio to get every last bit of body fat off. And they're, it's a lot of work. Again, you can disparage bodybuilding all you want and say it's stupid, it's a gay sport, it's a steroid sport. You can talk all the shit you want about bodybuilding, but it's a lot of work to get up there. I don't care if you're on drugs or not. Drugs don't do the dieting for you. Drugs don't do the cardio for you. They don't do the training for you. You can go to arnoldamateur.com to find the other qualifications, arnoldamateur.com, for people from other countries. So let me just stop that feed right now. So like I said, this is, a lot of people felt it was a slap in the face, an insult to the other competitors, the hardworking competitors that are up there who really did put in the time and effort, and they've been training hard for years, dieting for months, getting up at 4 a.m, 5 a.m to do their fasted cardio, dieting on, 4 ounces of chicken breast and a couple of sprigs of broccoli or something, bland food, no junk food, no cheat meals, no refeeds. Some of them, it's an insult a lot of people feel. And others would say, well, I mean, who's he hurting? And that's sort of become the delineation of what makes something right or wrong now. It's, you can't say something's wrong. You can't have a negative opinion about anything someone is doing as long as they're not hurting anybody. So unless you're like assaulting somebody or taking their income away, or you're somehow affecting harm to someone else, I guess you're not allowed to have an opinion about it. You just have to be cool with it. Let's see what you guys say, because some of you guys might have some info. Chill, bro. He just missed his peak. Obviously he didn't diet down. I mean, okay, let's assume he does have terminal cancer, which is awful, and I feel terrible for the man and his family and friends. None of us want to die, but still, he could have prepared for the show. If it's on your bucket list to compete in a bodybuilding show, wouldn't you want to prepare for the bodybuilding show? Would it be in your bucket list just to get up there looking any old way and look way out of place and look? I consider that disgraceful. I would feel very embarrassed and ashamed. I've seen people that have gotten up there that, then you hear the story. You've seen people that they have like a lot of loose skin or something. And then you find out they lost 100 pounds or 200 pounds. You're like, well, good for you, but you still look way out of place. You could have had the skin surgery or something. It sounds like I'm being a jerk. It sounds like I'm being shallow. I'm being elitist. I mean, this is a sport that I competed in for 24 years. I did over 30 competitions. I suffered through many a prep. A lot of you guys and girls out there, you competed, it's not easy. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's hard work. You're fighting cravings. You're up at night because you're starving and you're exhausted, but you can't sleep, and you're pushing yourself through these workouts on low carbs, no carbs. You're getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning with nothing in your stomach, getting on a step mill for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes. It's a lot of work. Jan Geraci, author of Potholes. That is horrific. How can someone go on stage looking like that? How can they allow that competitor to go on stage like that? Like I said, if he met those criteria, and there are criteria, you can't just enter the Arnold. Any local show, any local NPC show, or even a national qualifier, anybody can enter. Anybody. I don't believe they can refuse anybody that wants to get up there. And I've seen people up there that clearly just on a whim. And I even saw a YouTube video, a few months back. Some guy in Britain, he's a content creator, and he did it like as a goof, just to like screw with people. He went up there all skinny fat, put the tan on and everything, but he had never touched a weight in his life. He had never eaten a clean meal in his life. He got up there and he competed against these guys in the UK who were muscular and lean and shredded and knew what they were doing and put years of work into this. The sports, you can call it a joke. It's not a joke to me. It's not a joke to the people who live this lifestyle and put the time and effort into it. It's not. Let's see. Some troll. I don't know. He didn't look like a troll to me. I mean, maybe he was just doing it as a goof. Again, maybe it is on a bucket list that he had. I don't know. Does anybody know anything about this guy? Chime in. I know the chances are slim that somebody watching this right now would have the info. But if you're watching this on the replay, drop in the comments. Like I said, it's not a personal attack. I don't know the man. I don't know his story. I'm not trying to bring him down. Remind you guys, we're only 500 subs away from 5K subs, so please like, share, and subscribe. Click notifications. That's the little bell thing. Comment down below. It helps us out, maybe for content for you. Thank you. That's Jan Geraci Widmark. We were working together on the muscular development website, YouTube channel, the magazine for the past few years before MD went out of business. And now this is something we're trying to bring back, keep the spirit alive that we had over there at the on the No Bull Forum, on the YouTube channel. Bring you guys new content. The more subs and comments and all that and good stuff and views we get, the more we can put into this. Let's see. So Dave Katz, promoter should not allow this athlete to compete at a local show. Well, you know, America is lawsuit crazy. It is litigious. We have more lawyers per citizen than any other nation in the world. You could probably sue a promoter if they wouldn't let you compete. If you buy your NPC card and you pay the entry fee for a show, I don't think they can stop you from competing. And even at this gentleman must have, like I said, he must have met the criteria. He must have placed or competed somewhere. Like I said, the rules, arnoldamateur.com, you can see the rules. They're different for U.S. citizens, Canadians, and people from other countries. But like I said, for the U.S. citizens to do an open division, you have to place top 2 in a national qualifier, which there a lot of times you might be, if it's a small show, if you know the low turnout, you might luck out and be the only one in your class, or there's only one other person in your class and you took second, which was last, but you're still top 2 and you still qualify. It's one of those little loophole things. Arnold Amateur should not have dudes like that guy was just up there. I mean, Arnold Amateur's no joke. I covered that show, I believe 3 times. First time was with Giles Tiger Thomas. And I saw guys like Rolly Winkler competed in that. He won the amateur and he competed in the open, Arnold, the next year. And that was the beginning of a really good pro career for Rolly Winkler. The last guy I think I saw was Emiliano de Luomo from Italy. Huge freak. Some great competitors. Like I said, it really struck me the high level of competition at the Arnold Amateur because it's international. You have a lot of the top amateurs from other countries. They come to this show not only for the pro card, they do want to turn pro, but because there's a lot of media at this event and they know they can get seen by a larger audience. And like this year, it's streamed. If you go to Arnold Sports, arnoldsports.com, there's a link for the web stream or the live cast or live stream. It'll say live stream. All you gotta do is click on that. You fill out you put your name and email address and boom, you're registered and it's free. They just want your email address so they can send you emails about the show and things like that. But yeah, let's keep going. It was a joke. I don't know if you mean it was a joke, like he's a joke for going up there like that, or he was doing it as a joke. I can hear Branch. I doubt he was doing it as a joke, but he might have been. And it might be the case that he is somebody who had it on a bucket list. If that's true, like I said, there was that one comment. It's unsubstantiated. Could be true. I'm not saying it is. Anybody can post anything on a comment. It does not necessarily mean it's true. Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. So if he has terminal cancer, again, that's awful. And it was on his bucket list to compete. I would think I just would have asked him, and who am I to ask something of a dying man? But why wouldn't you prepare? Why wouldn't you at least try to get a little bit lean? He clearly has very high body fat. I'm going to guess by the looks of those pictures. Go back again, man. I'm going to go back again. By the looks of that, I'm going to try to guess a body fat with you guys, and you tell me how close you think I am. So, okay, so there's like little fat rolls around here. Yeah, I'm being picky. Yeah, I mean, he's got love handles. He's got a little bit of a man boob thing going on. This is probably about 35, 40% body fat, I bet. It's certainly no lower than 30. Yeah. And, like I said, it's terrible if the man has cancer and he always want to compete, but unless unless there's some medical reason why he couldn't have dieted, couldn't have gotten, I don't know anything about cancer. I'm not a doctor, obviously. And I don't, I hope to never go through it, but you never know. A lot of us are going to go through it at one point in our lives. Let's stop that stream now. I just think he should have tried to get a little lean enough so that he was presentable, where he didn't look completely out of place. Doesn't have much muscle mass. If you don't have much muscle and you don't have very good shape or structure, what's the one thing left that you can do something about is your condition? You can lose body fat. You can be lean. So at least you get up there and you're lean and you can see some muscle definition, some abs, maybe a vein or two, some separation between the muscle groups. So Arstav, thanks for joining. Posing claims are a good way to see where you stand. Yeah. There's actually another one coming up at Gym Hub Boston, March 16th, I think it is. Me and my son are going to go to that. And those are a good idea because it's not just a posing clinic. The guys there, like at this particular one, we're going to have Jose Raymond again, Justin Randall, both of them pros, Nate Tello. They're all 212 division pros. Jose's retired. Nate's still very much active. He's just getting started. But they will tell people, what your potential is. I mean, we saw a couple guys at that last posing clinic that had phenomenal potential, really good potential. And others, if they say, what do you think? If they solicit, we're not going to go up to anybody. I wouldn't, and say, yeah, you suck. You should forget about bodybuilding. But if they ask, I'm going to be honest. So I always say, don't ask me. Never ask me an opinion about your physique unless you want me to be honest with you. I don't know how to. I hate lying to people because whenever I've done that in the past, like I was afraid of hurting people's feelings, I saw them get hurt as a result. They would try a competition that they were not ready for, or they were, not at that level yet, things like that, or they weren't ready. They had to build a certain body part or build overall mass, or it was something they needed a lot of work. And I always tell people, I give honest feedback. It's not, because a lot of people there are people that will get very upset at that because they only hear, they like when you say things that they want to hear, but not what they need to hear. So sometimes someone that you'll see on stage who's really out of place, really overweight, they've just had like yes men around them. They've had cheerleaders at their gym saying, yeah, bro, you look great. You look awesome. Yeah, dude, you're ripped. Sometimes they might see, like, the guy will have a pot belly, but they might see a little vein here and they'll go, dude, you're ripped. You're shredded. Either they don't know any better, they're screwing with the guy, or they just don't want to hurt his feelings. And some of these people that compete that are way out of shape, they're not all there. They're a little bit on the spectrum, or they're a little mentally ill. It happens. Like I said, there's nothing stopping them from competing. For the Potholes blog, you talk about your new book too. Yeah, I actually posted on my Instagram, my Facebook today. My new book is called Rough Nights, 7 Fake, 1 Real. I'm sorry, 7 Real, 1 Fake, Rough Nights. It's an ebook on Amazon.com. Yeah, you can check that out. Juan Ayala says, they let anyone compete as long as they pay. It's all about making more money. Well, it's a business. It's not a nonprofit. It is about making money. Of course it is. But like I said, another thing they have to be very, very conscious of is lawsuits, litigation. You can't, people will say, well, you discriminated against me. I had my money. I was ready to compete. And unless they have some sort of disclaimer or something, and I don't even know if that's possible, where they could say on entry form, promoter reserves the right to refuse entry based on, I don't know how they would even phrase it without offending people. But if you don't look like it, this is one of the only sports where you can be completely unprepared, no background at all, and still be allowed to get up there. Imagine if you did that in like a MMA. You've never even had one fight in your life. You've never even taken a single boxing lesson, grappling lesson, martial arts lesson in your life, but you're like, I bet I could do that. What would happen to that person? They get in the ring with somebody who's a skilled fighter and they'll get destroyed. They'll get badly hurt. But in bodybuilding, you just get embarrassed. And if you have no shame, you don't care, I guess it wouldn't matter. So yeah, I mean, it's a unique situation. Very sad truth. Yeah. Like I joked that he missed his peak. Yeah, missed his peak. He didn't prepare for the show at all. Sorry, I could have been a little tighter. It's the sodium manipulation. We're having fun with this guy. Yeah, I get it. It's not personal. And I'm being extra careful because he might in fact be a terminal cancer patient, which is awful that this man's dying. We're all going to die, but we don't want to die. And this is someone who knows he's going to die fairly soon, if that's the case. So, yeah. Should have tried to have a little definition. Yeah, I mean, looking at that video and the photos that I posted that I used for the thumbnail, he probably had a good 50 pounds of body fat, 60 pounds of body fat. If he had just tried to lose half of that, go halfway through like what a real prep would have been, he would have looked much, much better. I mean, he's pear-shaped because he's got love handles. We're supposed to have the most important thing for any division first is structure. Wide shoulders, narrow waist. That's an X frame. When you're standing there like this, you look like an X. You got the wide shoulders and back. Narrow comes down to a narrow waist, flaring thighs. That's the X frame. That's what you want to look like. Some people have wider hips, wider hip bones. They're never going to have a real good V-taper. But in any case, your shape is always going to be a little bit better if you're lean. You'll look better if you're lean. Everybody looks better lean than they do when they're not lean. Patrick says, when these guys come out, the Arnold Amateurs, there's some sort of introduction for a special reason. I don't think they would be averse to doing that, but typically they don't have time. This is a big show. I mean, I don't know how many competitors they had this year. When I was covering it, One year we covered it, there was like 700. Another time there was 900 competitors total. They don't have time to tell a story. The only time when I ever hear the real backstory on people is the pro wheelchair shows, the Arnold wheelchair and the Olympia wheelchair championships, Mr. Olympia wheelchair, whatever they call it. The announcer, Nick, what's Nick's last name? Nick's the guy who basically put that whole wheelchair division together. And he, obviously it's near and dear to his heart. He's in a wheelchair himself. And he takes the time while he's introducing a competitor, he takes the time before they come out to tell you exactly what happened to them, how they became paralyzed, what type of paralysis they have, what part of the back is affected, the spine, how that impacts them. But there's only a few people. That show typically doesn't have more than 8 or 10 competitors in it. Nick Scott, thank you, Jen. Thank you, Jen. Jen just hit me up on WhatsApp. Nick Scott, they call him the Beast. And they don't have time to do it at this, but maybe if it was a special circumstance, I don't think they would say, no, we're not going to do that. They might say, but I don't know. I wasn't at the show and I wasn't watching this today. I don't know if any announcement was made. If so, again, I feel awful for the guy. It's just, I think he would have felt better about it if he was in shape, because he's getting blasted. This picture and these videos they're going viral today. People are just reposting and sharing, and because, we're used to seeing people that really put the time and effort into being ready for the stage. It's not easy. You could talk about drugs all you want, all day long. I don't care. You still need to diet for many weeks. I used to diet 16 to 20 weeks for shows. Most of these people do. It's a lot of work. Dieting sucks. It's you're hungry, you're craving things for months and you can't have it. You're going to bed hungry, you're waking up multiple times in the night, can't get back to sleep because you're starving. And that's what it takes. Caloric deficit. Great upcoming event at Gym Hub. There'll be terrific insight there. Yeah. The last one was really good. That was one of the last things I did for MD. Live. I was there with my leg in a brace and on crutches filming that. But I'll be there March 16th. It's a Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. Gym Hub. Jose Raymond will be there again as one of the opposing coaches. Owner of the gym, Nate Tello, and Justin Randall, another 212 pro who's a very, very active coach, coaches a lot of athletes locally and beyond. All right, so here's the other side of the argument, because like I'm saying, should it be allowed? Yes or no? I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm putting it up to you guys. So here's a differing opinion. Ron Gardner, another Ron, why shouldn't it be allowed? Just 2 weeks ago, you didn't ask that question when that man in Brazil was doing so-called men's wellness. Well, he wasn't, Ron, here's the difference between that. He wasn't competing against anybody. He wasn't competing against women. He wasn't actually competing. It was sort of an exhibition to test the waters. And that was a non-sanctioned event, has nothing to do with the IFBB Pro League or NPC Worldwide. But like I said, if that division and that promoter, who is an independent promoter, so you don't have to, anybody who's getting their panties in a bunch, you don't need to worry. It's not coming into the IFBB Pro League. They've already said they have no intention of ever bringing that in. But they are going to start that division. And that's going to be other men who identify as, I don't know if they identify as anything other than a man, but they like that very womanly, feminine look with the big butt and the big thighs. They like the wellness look. And they have the hair and makeup done in a female style, a feminine style, as that guy did. We've only seen this one guy, but I imagine that's going to be the template for how that division is going to look like in that particular. I don't even know if it's an organization or he just puts on shows, the promoter of that event. So he was not competing against anyone. And if he was competing against women, maybe I would have a problem, or the women would have a problem with it, or, I don't know. But let's make another distinction. That guy prepared for that show. He looked great. I'm not saying, I love men's wellness or anything, but he looked like he belonged up on a competitive stage. You might think it's a stupid division, or you might have your opinion and feel a certain way about that, but you can't deny that the guy was lean. He was polished. He was posing very well. He had the walk down. I've seen the videos. He prepared for that show. He worked hard, dieted, trained hard. He did look like an athlete up there. What kind of athlete? That's up for debate. This guy that we're showing the videos of does not look athletic, does not look like a men's physique competitor, does not look like a bodybuilder, a classic physique competitor. That gentleman that did the men's wellness, he does look like a wellness competitor. If you had put breast implants on him and a top and some heels, because it looked like he was barefoot, he'd fit right into women's wellness. He wouldn't look out of place. Whereas this guy, on the other hand, looked very much out of place, did not belong up there. You know, it's when you say, we have this phrase in America called someone sticks out like a sore thumb, because I guess when your thumb's sore, you got to stick it out. It makes it feel better. But we say that as the meaning of that phrase is someone who's so different from everyone else or everything else, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Like if you see, I don't know, if you see a row of luxury cars like a Lamborghinis, Bugattis, Ferraris, Porsches, and then you see a beat up, 1978 Datsun, body damage and rust, that car is going to what? Stick out like a sore thumb. It's going to be very out of place in that group of automobiles. I love car analogies. Nick Scott. Yeah, Nick Scott he founded the wheelchair division. He was a competitor himself, and he wanted, they had wheelchair nationals, but they never had a pro division. So they would win that. There were some guys that won it. Like I remember the guy from, I think he was either from France or Canada, Ludovic Marchand, guys that were just phenomenal wheelchair athletes, but they would win the wheelchair nationals. This was years ago. And there was no outlet for them as a pro. And Nick Scott took the time and effort and put it together and presented it to the IFBB Pro League, and it became a division. So level 1 or 2 NPC is okay, in my opinion. Yeah, you must be from, well, actually, I think they have levels number. I know in Canada they have numbered level shows. In the US, we just have, it's just a regular show, which means it's not a national qualifier. And then we have national qualifiers, and then we have national shows. And all the national shows are pro qualifiers, although some of the divisions, they are all. It gets a little complicated. So Ron says, my point, it's a mockery of the sport by both of them. Well, I mean, the guy doing men's wellness, you could say it's a mockery toward I don't know, mockery toward the women's wellness competitors. Like it's almost like, how dare you? An affront, an insult. How dare you try to present yourself as a wellness competitor as a man? This is a women's division. It's like, we joke, we used to call men's physique men's bikini. Believe me, guys, I wish I looked like a lot of these men's physique guys. They look phenomenal. So I'm not putting them down, but we never had a men's bikini division because men don't wear bikinis. Bikinis have a top. But, women's wellness, I guess if you have men's wellness, you could have men's bikini. They just wouldn't have a top. They would just have a little less less muscular development in the lower body. I'm not really sure how that would work. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to accept either one, or you could accept. It's all opinion. Eddie Sketty. I think they should set some kind of body fat parameters. Let's get out of hand real quick in this day and age. Yeah, we live in an era now of inclusivity, which has its good side and its bad side. You want everyone to have a chance and everyone to be included. It's also this has been going on for the past couple of decades now, this participation trophy society where everyone gets a trophy. I'm 54 years old. I was growing up, everyone didn't get a trophy. The winner got a trophy. Like Little League, if you weren't the champion team, it was either the champion team or everyone, you were nothing. There was the winners and there was just everyone else was the losers. That's how it was. But now we say everyone's a winner, and it sets these people up for failure later in life because, the real world is competitive. The workforce is competitive. Even things like YouTube, social media, Instagram, very, very competitive. Every field is pretty competitive when you think about it. So if you tell people that you're a winner and you deserve everything just handed to you, you'll have this entitlement attitude where you think you deserve everything. You just deserve it. No, you don't deserve anything. The world doesn't owe you jack. You're supposed to go out there and make something of yourself. Work hard, be a value, provide a value, a service, something that there's a return on it because you put something out that was desired or needed, not just receiving because you deserve to. The world should just shower me with money and fame and wealth and love for nothing. No. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the body fat is the way to go. I don't know what the solution is. I'm not even trying to postulate that. I don't know if there is a solution because I said this contest, and like the national shows, you'll see it at the national level too. At the nationals back in December, was it this nationals or the ones before? There was a guy, African American gentleman, very very overweight, much fatter than this guy. Can you even say fatter? Like 70% body fat all day. Big gut, huge love handles, literally spilling down over his trunks. And he was up there at I think it was the Nationals. Was it USA? Maybe it was USA because it doesn't seem like it was that recent. But it was the same thing. His pictures went viral. Everybody was reposting him, and people were just, really, really upset because, like I said, those of us, it's a small sport. It's a cult sport. There's very few of us that actually do this thing called bodybuilding, especially at the competitive level. There's not a ton of competitors out there. So those of us who do it take it seriously, whether the rest of the world does or doesn't. Generally, they don't. But to us, it's something that we work hard at and we take pride in. And most of us would not get up on stage looking anywhere near like that. We would feel embarrassed. I mean, I've had nightmares that I'm going to be in a contest that day and I'm not ready. I'm not lean, I'm not tan, and I'm like freaking out. It's like those dreams you have where you didn't study. There's a final exam. You're at the final exam for calculus, something. You're looking at it and you don't know anything about the test, and you didn't study. And it's a very similar thing. It's just about being unprepared. Palumboism caused the proliferation of so many divisions. What? No. The proliferation of so many divisions came from that philosophy of inclusivity where there should be something for everyone. I think we have something for everyone. So especially women, for women, you have everything from bikini. Fitness is different because it's routines, but physique wise, they're actually pretty close to figure. So women, the smaller women with the least amount of muscle mass can do bikini. Then figure is the next level up. Then you have women's physique and women's bodybuilding. So 4 different levels for mass. I'm sorry. And then there's wellness too, which is kind of like a figure upper body with a women's physique or bodybuilding lower body. So there's something for everyone from women. And for men, classic physique. I'm sorry. Let's start with it's supposed to be the smallest division, in terms of muscle mass. Men's physique is for guys who want to have that real nice beach body athletic look, broad shoulders, wide lats, small waist, good 6-pack, good abs, good midsection detail, small flat waist. Legs, they're judging legs now, but for many years they didn't. So the next level up from that is classic physique, where it's guys who have muscle mass, but they don't want to be. Sometimes some of them can't. It's not like they don't want to be. It's not as much based on size. They do have weight caps based on your height, but the ideals for that are based more on aesthetics. Really nice shape, structure, harmony, flow to the physique. Small waist, again, wide shoulders and back. Wide shoulders and back they're paramount for every division. But you're not supposed to be that big. And they made sure that guys in classic couldn't be too big by setting those weight caps on both the amateur level and the professional level. And then finally you have bodybuilding, which is the most amount of muscle mass possible. So if you work out hard, if you train hard and you build some kind of physique, if you're a male or female, there's a division that probably is going to fit your body type better than other divisions. And that's typically where people end up. You won't see a woman with a body that should be in bikini enter a women's bodybuilding division. She gets smoked, and vice versa. A woman who's huge and jacked, diesel, she enters bikini, she's going to place last because they're not looking for that. There's different criteria for every division. Problem child. Yeah, well, it's a problem child. It's a cult sport because there's not a ton of money in it. It's a chicken or the egg. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Why isn't there a lot of money in it? Because there's not a lot of people. There's not a lot of interest in it. Generally speaking, you could put it on TV every night. People wouldn't watch it. Most people would not watch it. We had it on TV for years. It went away. People will watch football. They will watch basketball. They'll watch baseball. Soccer, hugely popular all over the world. Ice hockey, golf, tennis, track and field, the Olympic event. They'll watch all of that. And those things because there's so many people that will watch it, there's an audience for it. That's why they can put it on TV and attract big name sponsors who will pay a lot of money to advertise. Car companies, beverage companies, sneaker companies, because they know 30, 40 million people are going to be watching this Monday Night Football or whatever, the Super Bowl, a Super Bowl commercial. I think a minute commercial costs them a couple $1 million just for that airtime, for the commercial time. So that's why there's not a lot of money in bodybuilding, because we don't have millions and millions of people that want to watch it and support it. We don't. Most of the people who follow bodybuilding and who are really interested and will watch it are, to some level or another, participants. They're bodybuilders. You don't have a ton of regular people who be like, wow, what's going on with the Arnold Classic? They don't care. They'll talk about what's going on with the NBA finals, or the AFC, NFC playoff games, the playoffs for baseball. These are things that will hold their interest because they can watch it. They can relate to it. They can figure out, okay, this guy's running up and down and putting the ball in the hoop, or this guy's got to go across the end zone with the football. It makes sense. Or the hockey's got to go in the goal. Most people, regular people, look at bodybuilding. They don't know what the hell they're looking at. The guys all look the same to them. They see a bunch of guys or girls in little teeny briefs, trunks, suits, all oiled up, just posing. It's like, what the hell is this? And they'll change it. They would change the channel. They don't have any interest. And that's why there's no money in it, because there's not enough interest in the mainstream public. There's no way you can make people be interested in something they're not interested in. People there's a phrase I read in this book, 50 Cent book, called Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. The public is never wrong. So you might think some movie that made, $500 million is a stupid, crappy movie. You might think Taylor Swift, who's made $1 billion with her music, you might think her music is awful. Oh, well, you're not the public that buys those concert tickets and downloads her stuff on iTunes. The public is never wrong. They like what they like. You can't make people like what they don't like. In the 90s, there were NPC. This is our stuff again. NPC levels. Everyone needs a starting point, though. Someone should get his official reason if it's going viral. Nobody watched. Yeah, Deep Purple. It's hard to understand. I mean, even those of us who've been going to these shows for years, a lot of times we don't agree with the decisions. We think some guy who placed second should have been fifth. Some guy who placed fifth should have been third or second. I mean, it's subjective. It's not the ball goes, who gets 18 holes of golf with the least amount of strokes. It's not which team gets more hoops, more baskets, more points. It's not like that. It's not cut and dried. It's judged more like, I don't know, like diving or something in Olympics, something like that, or gymnastics, something like that, but even then there are technical qualifications that they're going by. So it's not quite the same. It's more like a pageant. It's more like a beauty pageant, because that is purely subjective. You put the Miss USA or the Miss America pageant, there's 50 women up there. Each one was judged the most beautiful woman in her state by a panel of judges. And now she's up there with a different panel of judges, and they have to figure out who's the most beautiful woman out of all these 50. This guy's opinion of who's the most beautiful might be different. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So, physique competitions, we do have parameters. We do have certain categories we're looking for, structure, size, shape, mass, condition, presentation is supposed to be factored into it. There are things we're looking for, but like I said, somebody might, in their head, they might have more of a preference for one, or somebody might have more weight in their head for better condition, where somebody else might be more impressed by someone who's a little more massive, or somebody that's got better shape. I mean, that's why there's a panel of judges, and they drop the high and low scores, because it is subjective. It is opinion based. Heavy duty, it's both frustrating and heartbreaking. Most people not appreciate how difficult bodybuilding is. It's literally a 24/7 sport. There's no other sport like that, with the exception of boxing. Yeah, because, I shouldn't say other sports don't worry about what they eat and everything as much as we do, but I don't think any other sport is as meticulous with every little bit of food has to be exactly the right kind of food, in the right amounts, at the right times. Your training has to be on point. Your cardio has to be on point. If you're getting ready for the show, you have to learn how to be a good poser in any division, present yourself properly, grooming, tan. There's a lot of things that go into what you see as the finished product up on stage. Months and months, years of effort go into what might in the end be 5 minutes up on stage, 10 minutes up on stage on one day. And months led to that, years of training and months of dieting and many, many hundreds of hours of prep. So it's a tough, tough sport. That's why a lot of us do take it personally when we see someone up there that clearly did not prepare. They didn't diet. They didn't get the body fat off. I always say anybody can go to the gym and lift weights, and God bless you. Exercise is great. Everybody should work out. I think everybody should do some type of resistance training. It's wonderful for your muscle tone, muscle strength, keeping the joints and ligaments strong, the ligaments, tendons, all that. Bone density. There's so many benefits to it. But, taking it to that level where you're competing, where you're going to be presenting your body up on stage requires a whole other level beyond just working out, because now you're really getting into a very strict, detailed, specific way of eating. Contest prep. You got to eat clean. You can't eat what you want. A lot of people go to the gym. Go to your local gym. If it's a crowded gym, you can tell by looking at people. They eat whatever the hell they want. You could tell by looking at them. They're fat. They have a lot of body fat. It means they work out, but then they go and eat whatever, lasagna or I don't know, Burger King or freaking Five Guys, pizza, donuts, Krispy Kreme, all that crap, ice cream. Don't forget about sleep, recovery. Yeah, bodybuilders think of everything. Stress and mental health has an effect on the body. Yeah, you can't be a party animal. A lot of people like to go out and drink every damn weekend. Yeah, that's their prerogative. But bodybuilders, not to say bodybuilders don't party, they do. But most bodybuilders, when they're in prep, they don't go out, they don't drink. I don't know if they don't smoke weed, but they don't drink. They don't go out to bars, clubs. They don't do any of that. I mean, they forego a lot of family functions. Maybe people are going to amusement parks. They're like, I can't go. I'm in prep. I mean, those of you who've competed, you know that you had to give up a lot of things, a lot of places you couldn't go, a lot of events you couldn't go to. If you went to even a birthday party, a kid's party, I used to bring my own food. They used to joke and make fun of me because I brought this stupid igloo cooler with me everywhere I went. My meals were in it in Tupperware. I'd be at Chuck E. Cheese. They'd be eating the crappy pizza and birthday cake, and I'd crack out my Tupperware and I'd be eating my chicken and rice or whatever, and my tuna and a baked potato. They all thought it was a big joke, but to me I took it very seriously. I wanted to build the best physique I could, and I knew nutrition was a huge, huge factor. And like I said, a lot of people, they'll work out, but they don't care what they eat. They don't pay any attention. They don't make an effort to meal prep. I mean, how much time do you guys spend cooking, preparing food, eating, cleaning up? It's a lot of work. Devotion. Bodybuilders not only have to worry about what they eat, but how much they eat. Usually the issue is force feeding oneself. Yeah, it's you're on this rigid schedule. I haven't competed in 11 years. It'll be 12 years this summer. Jeez. 54 years old, but I still eat like that because I'm so used to it now. I eat every day at 7 a.m. Have a post-workout shake with some sugary cereal, my whey protein, Nitrotech, at about 11:30, 1 o'clock, chicken and rice, 3:30, turkey cheeseburger on potato bread roll, usually with like an apple. 6:30, ground turkey with taco seasoning and some tortilla chips, and then the last meal is either sirloin burger and vegetables with some almonds or a salmon fillet. And I eat like that every damn day, and I haven't even competed in well over a decade now. So it's a lot of work, guys. It's a lot of work. Wow, what time is it? It's time to go. So anyway, guys, nobody knew the story. If you're watching this on the replay and you know the story with the gentleman, I'm not picking on him. I'm not singling him out because I've seen this at many other shows, and I'm not saying he doesn't have the right to be up there. If he placed and by the rules of the federation and of that particular contest, he meets the qualifications to be up there, they can't refuse him. They can't. But like I said, a lot of us do feel sort of offended when we see that because this is our sport. We love it. We take pride in it. It's a sport that gets a lot of flack. It gets a lot of jeers from the general public. They think it's stupid. They think it's homosexual. They think it's all drugs. It's put down constantly by the public. It gets very little respect outside of our little world. Here we go. Tears of joy. Ron J. Cutler famous said, working out was the easy, enjoyable part. Yeah, but eating was most difficult. Oh yeah. Yeah, because I never had to force myself to work out. I love working. I still love training. I had to take 4 weeks off after my hair transplant. Today was my first day back in the gym. I could not wait. I was counting the days, and when I finally got in there, I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just so grateful to be able to lift weights again, because you can't do it. It's not good for the hair grafts. They need a few weeks to really settle in before you risk popping them out from the high blood pressure when you strain. But yeah, I used to have to force myself to eat, especially in the early years when I was really trying to put the size on. I didn't want to eat all that food, and I didn't want to eat every 2 hours, 2.5 hours, but I did it. Very few people want to eat. Not only they don't want to, most people don't want to eat the type of things we eat. Most people just want to eat whatever. I want to have a meatball sub, or I want to have some pizza, or I want to have some macaroni and cheese, veal parmesan, chicken parmesan. They want to eat whatever they want, when they're hungry, and what they feel like eating. We don't do that. We eat what's best for our physique goals. It's fuel to either build muscle, lose fat, either one. And it takes a lot of food to sustain. When you've built a certain amount of muscle, it takes a lot of food just to maintain that. If you start missing meals, you'll notice for most of us, you'll start losing muscle, because it's not the body. The body didn't want to have all that muscle. We forced it to put that muscle on through the resistance training, through the food, the rest. And if you add gear onto that, it's another part of the equation, but it's not a natural show. It's an expensive sport. The food is expensive. The food is expensive. It's because we eat so much protein. If we were just eating ramen noodles and rice, potatoes all the time, yeah, that's not very expensive. Pasta, but steak, very expensive. Fresh fish, very expensive. Food's so expensive now. Food price has gone up 30% since the pandemic across the board. So it's way more expensive now to eat than it ever was as a bodybuilder. Eggs are like twice as much money now as they were a few years ago. Everything that we eat in terms of protein is a lot of money. Supplements aren't that cheap either, but the food, my God, the meat, that's what'll get you. How much do you think top people spend to get ready for a big show in a year? 1 year? One show? I mean, if they have to pay for everything themselves, some of them have people giving them their PEDs. Some of them are getting their coaching free. Some of them are getting their meals free through meal prep companies. Some of the people are getting all of that for free. But if you had to pay for all of that at the pro level, and if you're doing a good amount of growth hormone, if you're doing like 6, 8, maybe 10 units a day, it's not unusual. I've heard of people doing 10 to 15 units a day, every day. IGF-1 is even way more expensive. You could spend between 50 and 100 grand a year preparing. I mean, it's the food alone. You're eating so much food. It's expensive, and there's very little financial return for most of them. Luckily, because we have social media now, there's opportunities that exist to earn money through things like coaching and brand partnerships. There's a lot of ways bodybuilders and other competitors can make money now that didn't exist back in the day. Back in the day, either you had a contract with a supplement company or magazine, or you just had to friggin' count on your own whatever you were making, a personal trainer, whatever it is you did for work. So it's much better in that aspect. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I need to shower badly. So appreciate you guys all watching. If you're watching this on the replay, please drop a comment. It helps out the algorithm, and I always respond to every single comment. My channel's not that big yet. Please subscribe, like, and share, hit your notifications. But like I said, my channel's not that big yet where I can still respond to every single post. A lot of you guys follow channels. They're never gonna answer your comments. They don't have time. They're getting thousands of comments on a video. Do you think they don't go through all those? Last thing, yeah, massages, they're not cheap. That's average about 100, 120 bucks a pop for massage. Yeah, and you really need to get chiropractic work, massage, deep tissue, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of therapies. So anyway, guys, please drop a comment below. Appreciate you guys all watching. This has been another one on this channel, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to have a watch party right here live for Classic Physique judging. And then in the evening, we'll be back. We're going to be doing the Classic Physique Finals watch party, along with the Arnold Classic Open judging watch party. And on Saturday, we'll be doing the watch party for the Arnold Classic Finals, the Open Finals. So don't miss that. We're going to have a really good time. We're going to watch right along with all the action in real time, and invite you all. Please come along and join us. So that's it. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye now.